work it, lady. Yeah, that's how you work it, lady. It's never no, or maybe this is how you get it, baby. Work, work. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Work It Lady podcast. We are going to be talking about relationships today, and particularly for us all, what happens when relationships end, okay? It's always very disappointing when one of our friends that we love and care about so much, or maybe a close family member, maybe a sibling, loses their mate. Either maybe the mate just, the relationship did not work out. And so a divorce has to happen, or maybe the mate passes away, and we want to be there for our friend, for our family member, but it can be really hard to know what to say or what to do, or how best to be supportive. So I kind of wanted to talk about that today because I think it's something that we kind of need to talk more about. We really need to be there for each other in this way. And this happens quite commonly nowadays, where for whatever reason, someone who had a mate may not be continuing with that mate for whatever reason. So there is a lot to say about this. And I hope that you guys will, enjoy the episode and drop any questions that you have in the comments. So, first, let's talk about how we can be supportive. So, again, this person, maybe this is a recent loss, something that happened, maybe just wow, right now out of nowhere, whammo, this person is no longer in our friend or family member's life. We wanna support that person because for them, they are going to be going through a very tough time mentally, and what can oftentimes happen is a lot of self-doubt, a lot of blaming themselves for things, a lot of, remorse or regret, maybe feeling like maybe if they had a done this one thing differently, that this person would still be in their lives. They could also be angry. Let's say that the relationship ended because of adultery, or there was something really rocky that just ended the marriage. That person can very much have a lot of feelings of hurt, anger, sadness, loneliness, a lot of things, confusion, even because maybe they were with this person for 5 years or 10 years or 50 years, and now they're not with this person. So what can we do? Number one thing that I like is helping people rediscover their values. So there's a couple things that I like from this article on Psych Central, and it was entitled "How to Help a Friend Through a Breakup." And the first thing that they mentioned was help them rediscover their values, because this is especially important if the relationship ended because of it just wasn't working out. Maybe there was some sort of infidelity or something in the relationship. You want that person to understand, number one, that they are valued, okay? That they are important and that you are there to support them. Number two, try to help them widen out and continue to make friends. A lot of times, especially for women, we fall into this role of, okay, we are a caretaker, we are a wife. Some women don't even have jobs, and they're literally just wives and mothers, and take care of a home and run a home and supervise the kids and all this, and they really never did anything else. They never had a career. They never, they had friends, but it was more so like mom friends, where the whole focus was more so on the kids and not like, hey, let's just me and you be friends. So helping them widen out and make friends, can be especially important, so that they can kind of feel a sense of community and not feel as isolated or lonely. Because when you come out of a relationship that ended, be it a death or, just not together anymore, there is a lot of loneliness and feeling lost that can come with that. So building those friendships is definitely going to help with that. Um, the next thing that you really want to do too is really try to help the person to understand that, you know what, I'm here for you, and you don't actually have to overshare or feel like I have to know your whole everything that you went to. It's okay to keep some things private. A lot of people don't like to open up when they are going through something because they feel they're going to get a lot of questions. They feel like they are going to get a lot of scrutiny or just those uncomfortable, awkward things like, they're used to seeing you with their mate and now, they're just showing up and it's just you there. So it can be really hard, but I think it's important for us as friends, or we may be the person going through it. Either way, it's important for us to understand that, you know what? Let me respect this person. Let me not ask them a bunch of personal questions. Let me not pry. Let me not try to get information just to satisfy my own curiosity about what they might be going through. Just saying, you know what? I'm here for you, whatever you need. If you want to get together, if you just need me to run some errands for you, if you just need me to listen to you, but I feel like in this situation, it's definitely more important to listen to what the person is going through if they feel like they're in a spot where they need to share things and not be so concerned with asking them a bunch of questions. Well, why did he leave or why did she leave or, why did he do this and when and and just going through all that stuff because it's going to bring up a lot of pain for that person. And even if they do share it, sometimes people share things and it's embarrassing later. Like, you kind of have like share remorse, if you will. Like, man, maybe I said that the wrong way, or, maybe I wasn't comfortable to share that at this point. So it's good to kind of let people slowly share and not ask them a whole lot of questions. That way they feel comfortable with the situation and they don't feel like they have to end a relationship with you because they kind of got to feeling uncomfortable about things. Okay. So those are some great tips there. The next thing I'll share is there were some really good tips here as well on this other site called Mind Body Green. It's how to actually help a friend through a breakup from relationship experts. And there is really some things that I think we can all learn from. And I think some of these apply to more than one situation, not just about a breakup, but just if someone's going through a hard time in general. So one thing is, don't just assume things. Sometimes we assume just because we see a person going through something and they seem to be handling it well that they are. So sometimes tactfully, because we don't want to pry, right? Like we just talked about, it could be a good idea to say, hey, I acknowledge that you went through a hard time. Are you okay? How are you doing? Keeping the focus on them, not asking them about what happened, but just keeping the focus on them. Um, Another thing here that I thought was interesting is the third one they share on their list, and it says, "Do not bash the ex." And I'm like, "Okay, look, some of my friends, like, we bashed exes, okay? Like, sometimes the ex is horrible and has put your friend through complete crap. And if you are a woman and you are just we're sensitive about this, okay? No true friend wants to see their friend go through something like this. So if your ex is horrible, I feel like there is a way to acknowledge that their ex was horrible and say, man, they were horrible. Like, I'm glad you got away from this person. They were definitely wrong. Like, if they share a situation with you, they were wrong in that situation. But I feel like if you overbash, it almost can have the effect of, like, making your friend feel bad because it's like, "Okay, this person's so horrible, like, why did I even get with them? And everybody else says that they're horrible. How come I didn't see it?" And that might be a realization that that person just has to come to and kind of feel bad about it and move on. We all at some time or another have let people into our lives that were complete trash and didn't belong in our lives. And we did it to ourselves. And sometimes, you just have to own up to that when you hear other people's opinion about this person and you realize, well, crap, I really should have been a little smarter or wiser there. So I agree with what they said, but sometimes when you just want to crack open a bottle of wine with your girlfriend and bash confidently and everything just between you two. Sometimes I don't see too much wrong with that. Okay. Um Last one that I am going to share on this one here, and again, this was on mindbodygreen.com, is don't rush the process. So, kind of as we were mentioning before, breakups are different for everyone. Some people can get over a breakup pretty quick. Some people, it's like a devastation that they're really never going to get over. So, we just want to be sensitive to that. If we have a friend and maybe they broke up with someone like 5 years ago and they might still be grieving that loss, because even if the relationship was toxic, they are still grieving the loss of having an additional income, having someone there for simple companionship, having someone there for intimacy. They are still grieving all of those losses. So we don't want to just be like, girl, that was a long time ago, get over it. That's just going to come across as tactless, and that could be something that would cause us to lose out on a good friend. Okay. So I felt like this was just something for all of us as women. This is something real that we deal with. A lot of our friends or ourselves at some point may go through something like this, and it's good for us to kind of have these little tips in mind so that when it happens, or if we're going through it currently, we can be supportive. Because guess what? Women got to support each other, right? We got to work it out, girl. Work it out, work it out, work it out. All right, ladies, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have not already, I would very much appreciate it if you would follow me on Instagram. If you're not, we just share random things on Instagram, and it's a fun place. And just don't overuse social media, but yeah, I'm there. So give a follow. And then last but not least, of course, if you follow me on podcasts, especially Apple Podcasts, please do subscribe, share the episodes, listen to them when you got like slow time at work or you're driving home in the car. And then of course here on YouTube, if you would like, share, and comment on the video, I would very much appreciate it. And of course, if you go ahead and subscribe, okay? All right, ladies, I want to thank you so much for listening to another episode of Work It Lady. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.